Hi, and welcome to The Bright Balloon, a podcast where I'm sharing bright ideas for your balloon business. My name is Sarah Meyer, and I'm a balloon business owner like you, and I love the creative side of what I do, but I really love the business side, which seems to be the part where most people struggle. So I'm here to help. Each week, I'm bringing you an episode full of bite-sized tips you can use to make tiny improvements to your business. I want you to make more money, eliminate stress, and learn along with me as we grow our creative businesses together. Welcome to The Bright Balloon. Hello and welcome back for another episode. Today I am joined by my digital strategist, Nicole, who many of you know from previous episodes and some of you are also working with. She freelances and she has her own business. It's LetNicoleHelp.com, so you can check her out if you need her services. She is a 17 hats expert. She is an automation expert. And today we are talking about lead sources. So she's giving us a couple of tips of not only how and why to track our lead sources, so where people hear about our businesses, but then also what to do with that information once we have it. So it is a super straightforward episode. There are a lot of action steps that you can implement today right after listening to the show, and she's even including a free resource to make it easier for you. So we are going to take a quick break and then get right into the episode. Hey friends, I wanted to take a second to tell you about Havin a Party Wholesale. They are my preferred balloon distributor, and if you're not following them on Instagram, you're missing out. They post tons of free education for the balloon industry, in addition to updates on products that are coming in stock or new releases, and they really take care of us as balloon decorators. I had someone reach out the other day and ask if I order on Amazon, and I almost passed out. If you are ordering your balloons on Amazon, you are wasting so much money. You need a reputable balloon distributor to take you to that next level. So check out Havin a Party Wholesale in the show notes wherever you're listening. Welcome back for another episode. Nicole, what are we talking about today?
Today, let's talk about how and why to track your incoming leads.
Amazing. Okay. I sort of do this, but what should we be doing?
Yeah. Well, first of all, you're going to want to have a question on your inquiry form that, gives them a space to tell you how they found you, right? So like, I always want to recommend having a drop down, and that's for a few reasons. Like if you have a text field, they can just type any old thing in, right? And so, but when you're compiling all of these entries, that's going to be hard to match up. Like, if somebody lists a name or they abbreviate Facebook with just FB, your data is going to be all over the place in terms of trying to like compile all of these answers.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah. So that like a text field might not always be the best solution. And then some people will do check boxes for, all the different areas, Facebook, Instagram, online search. But I guess I don't prefer it that way, because if they mark more than one, well, how did they initially hear about you? So I just think there's a lot of value in knowing exactly, where they initially heard about you. So and that's why I would recommend adding this form as a drop down on your inquiry form.
Yeah, that's so smart, because even I can think of people who, instead of checking repeat customer, they'll check like, we always work with you, or like, we had you at our Christmas party, or we've used you before. And all of those things in terms of actually tracking in a spreadsheet would register as like a different thing, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. And while those entries are like fun to see, someone might put a little personal message in there. It's fun to see, but it's not really going to help you track, where people are coming in. Exactly.
Very cool. And something to point out too is like, this can be done as long as you have a contact form. This can be done. Like some people still don't have a CRM, which you and I would strongly encourage them to have one. We use 17 hats. But even if you just have whatever info form is on your website builder, like Wix is what I use, you can put a form on there that links nowhere other than your email, and you can still customize the fields and put this on there.
Right. I mean, I would assume that almost every form you can put available to your customers will have a drop-down option for you. And I
Oh,
like to, consider adding options like, online search and repeat customer, a personal referral, like, they can mark if a friend or colleague referred them. And then like any of your active social profiles that you're trying to, market on. So those are some good choices for a drop down menu.
very cool. And then what do we do with that information? Asking for a
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, there's a great tool called Zapier that, might be able to connect your CRM to a spreadsheet and then automatically pull that information into your spreadsheet and, create a nice looking spreadsheet for you. Um, that's kind of like a next level, tool. But
Wait,
in most
spoiler
cases,
alert.
yes, yes,
We're going to get there, guys. Not in this episode, but Nicole
yeah,
has something up her sleeve, and I just started dabbling with Zapier, and it is like another automation robot to do your work for you. But
yes.
don't let that derail you. You don't have to use this. This can be manual, correct?
This can be manual. Yep. And, it's something that it's not like you're going to need to do this every day, maybe once a month or once a quarter even. You just kind of, oh, how, where are my leads coming from? So, it's not a daily task that you would, you probably wouldn't bother doing it every day. Um, yeah, so Zapier is like an awesome tool that we'll talk about another time. But for manually, you can easily just, export your contact list from your CRM, whatever tool you're using. It's going to give you a spreadsheet. And then I'm actually going to have a download for everyone to like see the formula that can be used to, um, grab the information from that spreadsheet and then create yourself a little form. So it's going to list out all of the lead sources that your customers might be indicating. And then it's going to count the number of times that those sources are mentioned. So I've got a fancy little formula in this download that you can use in your spreadsheet to make this happen.
So this might be a dumb question, but when you say a spreadsheet, like does that have to be Excel? Can that be Google Sheets? Like what does that look like?
It can be either. Yeah, either. I mean, I think your CRM is most likely going to give you um, an Excel file when you download.
Right.
So um, yeah, but then it can be, uploaded into Google Sheets if that's where you
And I
prefer to
like
use it.
Yeah, I like Google Sheets too because then I have it everywhere. Like it's,
Yeah.
cloud based, so I can get it on my phone. I can get it on whatever computer I'm at. So I like Google Drive or Google Sheets, just to see that information. And then if people are doing this manually, like if you don't have a CRM or you're not to that point yet, every time you get a lead, you can just kind of copy and paste this information into that spreadsheet, right?
Yeah, I mean, sure they're contacting you somehow. So even if you're, getting your messages from various places, put their name in your spreadsheet. Where did they message you? And that's how you know that they found you. So
And then okay, so we have our information. We've gotten it from our CRM. It's in our spreadsheet.
mhm.
What should we be doing? What should we be doing like with this data?
Yeah, I mean, from this, like maybe you'll end up seeing that you get hardly anyone from Google. Well, you know, now you have a goal to work on, right? Like maybe your Google business profile needs a little updating, or maybe you find out that you're getting more leads from Instagram than you thought. So hooray, like keep up your Instagram work. It'll just give you a good idea of where to spend your time and energy marketing your business.
Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of like ride the middle on this one. I think there's a lot of people that are like, well, I'm hardly getting any inquiries from Facebook. So I really need to work on Facebook. But if you're getting a lot of your inquiries from Google and Instagram, maybe just continue focusing on those areas. That's kind of like the strength finder approach. Instead of working on all
Hmm.
the things that you suck at, just keep going on the things that you're already naturally good at. Like I think TikTok is a really good example. I see a lot of people trying to pivot to TikTok. And it's like, why are you trying to be a pioneer in this new kind of unproven territory, especially for our
Hmm.
industry? Like for local sales, I don't think TikTok is going to be your way to go. But
Right.
I do see a lot of people trying to like bring their followers from Instagram over to TikTok. Like follow me there. Follow. It's like No, meet them wherever they are already following you. So, like, if you're getting a lot of people on Instagram, you're probably pretty good on Instagram. Like, Google is the outlier. I think if you're not getting anybody from a Google search, that is definitely a place you want to
Yeah,
focus.
yeah. I mean, I totally agree. I would never leave Google behind, right? Like you always
No,
want to
right.
be optimizing yourself there. But I couldn't agree more because, you know, now you're trying to get on TikTok, and that's another thing for you to do when you're not really, maybe sure what you're doing. And here you are in more chaos than needed. So I just couldn't agree more. I think just like bulk up and do great work on the profiles are active on, and then if eventually you find yourself with some kind of time to keep updating another social network, go ahead, or go back to Zapier and maybe it can do it automatically for you. But if it's a case of where you have limited time to be on all these different spaces, I agree. I think just make the most of the ones that you're succeeding on and doing well on.
Yeah. And the other thing that I guess this isn't like techie or data driven or anything special, but in my point of view, the most important category is that repeat customer. Like knowing that, first of all, knowing that someone has worked with you before will save you a little bit of embarrassment because they'll remember you and they'll assume that you remember them, especially if you're a very small business. Um,
Hmm.
but they don't have any concept of how many clients we're working with. Like I don't remember 200, 300 jobs a year. Like there's just no way. But if they're telling me that they've worked with me before, it's already, first of all, an indicator that I need to remember who they are and look that up so I'm not embarrassed. Second,
Hmm.
because I use a CRM, I can then go back in and just kind of like look at their previous jobs. So like if someone's like, we've worked with you before for this event, I can be like, oh, last year they spent $2,000 on this event. I'm definitely not going to quote them 400 for this new event. Like it's
Right.
almost like a red flag for you to remember. Also, like I want to see that little category grow. Like if 50% of my people could be repeat customers, that would be the best because then
Right.
nothing else matters. Google doesn't matter even. If everyone is just coming back to you over and over again, all of your referral sources are second nature. Like the number one should be repeat customers, and that's kind of the area I'm working on.
Yeah, I like that because yeah, like even if you're using a CRM and you have a templated response ready to go, if they indicate we worked with you before, yeah, maybe you can toss in a little like note from your last project together and kind of personalize your email a little bit. I love that. Yeah. And if they indicate that it came from a friend, I mean, I think that's another great sign too. So like people are out there marketing for you, like
Yes.
that's a nice thing to see as well. So,
Well, and again, now I'm just like thinking out loud, but I've this year I've kind of really leaned into my like solopreneur, like the power of being really small. I know everyone wants to grow, but I don't think you have to do that in size. I think you can do that just by making a lot more money. And one of the superpowers of being the solopreneur is those little things. Like if someone's like, oh, my friend Stephanie referred you, you did her daughter's birthday. If I can then respond and be like, yeah, Haven's party was awesome. I love working for her. And we did the cutest little unicorn theme. What do you have in mind for your daughter? Or if it's like, we used you for our son's birthday last year. How cool is that if you can be like, oh my gosh, what are we doing for Jonathan's 8th birthday this year? Last year,
hmm.
his seventh dinosaur party was so cool. What are we going to do to blow people away this year? Like that
Right.
will be the thing that people are like, oh my gosh, like they'll almost feel obligated to use you in a way because it's like, what else are they going to do? Go to Party City, go to Walmart? Like
Right.
there's no comparison when you can provide that level of customer service. And like, it doesn't require any work. All it is you being like, oh, they checked this box and then I searched for them in my CRM.
Right. Right. Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, that level of personal attention will feel amazing to them, and yeah, you're bound to get the job, right?
Exactly. Well, that's what this year I don't want to be like the McDonald's of balloons, but I want to be like the Chipotle. Like I want to be like streamlined and fast, not bad, but like custom enough but also streamlined.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And who knows, like maybe down the line, if you start finding out that you're getting all these personal referrals, maybe it makes sense for you and your business to like come up with some little discount, $30 off, for a referral or whatever. maybe that starts to
Absolutely.
make sense in your business and take advantage of that personal referrals that are happening for you.
Right. Or maybe you pass it forward to the person who's doing the referring. Like
Right.
like they would get the percentage, but even if it's something less structured and you just send like a little, you know, gift, like a Starbucks gift card, just like, hey, I've gotten 3 referrals from you in the last 6 months. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being an awesome,
Right.
loyal customer. Again,
Right.
but that's really hard to do if you're super big and you have a warehouse and a million employees. That is one of the advantages I think of staying super small and
Yeah.
having that type of control, which we can't always have. And I'm not encouraging people to send all of their clients gift cards every time they get a referral. But
Right.
there
No.
are those people that just love talking about your business, and like you won't
Hmm.
know that they even exist unless you give people the chance.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's just a great reason to start think about, you know, letting your customers tell you where they heard about you, because this is really, gold mine information, whether it is a personal referral or, how they found you online. So,
Okay, well, we are going to take a quick break and then we are going to do a recap and talk a little bit more about the resource that Nicole is providing in the show notes so that you guys can implement this new strategy starting today.
How many Google reviews do you have? Hi, I'm Jeff at AssetLab, and did you know that we recommend businesses get to 40 5-star reviews on Google My Business before they even start asking for reviews on other platforms? If you're facing competition, we work with balloon decor companies every day, and we can help you figure out what's the right thing to do for you so that you can get more leads, more phone calls, more contact form submissions. Learn more about us at assetlab.us.
All right, welcome back. We are going to wrap up, but really quick, let's review. So, Nicole, we talked about getting that lead source on your form
yep.
and then downloading your information and then starting a spreadsheet. I'm trying to keep it simple. Am I missing anything?
Yeah. Well, in the download I'll have for you, I have a formula that'll help you then, count the number of times, your particular lead sources that you're tracking, are indicated on your spreadsheet. So
Very cool. So we are in charge of making sure we're collecting the data, and you have a resource to help us figure out what to do and what it means, right?
yeah, to compile the data, yeah,
Very
a
cool.
fancy little formula to help you do that.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much. And again, if this sounds overwhelming, it's probably because you're doing nothing or you're collecting information and you don't know what to do with it. So for 2022, just do something. Take one step. It doesn't have to be all of these things. Maybe you're just going to start collecting those referral sources. Maybe you have those referral sources and you don't know what to do with them. So just take the next step is my recommendation. Otherwise, you'll
Yeah,
just get so overwhelmed, you'll end up doing nothing. And I think that this is really valuable information that can guide a lot of our marketing.
exactly. Yeah, nobody wants to be wasting time marketing and putting all this energy into something that isn't becoming fruitful for them. So this will be a good way for you to figure out where to spend that energy.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for being back on the podcast, Nicole. And we will see you next month for more techie tips. Not
Yeah,
super techie, but just some behind the scenes practical things that we can implement to kind of help us streamline and stay on top of these things that I think a lot of us just kind of let go by the wayside. But thank you for breaking them down and making them easy to digest.
gosh, no problem. I'm looking forward to it.
That wraps up this episode. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, I tried to keep it bright and light in a few minutes or less. I'll talk to you next time. For more information about any of the resources or courses mentioned in today's show, please head to thebrightballoon.com or check the show notes wherever you're listening.